There's a reason why they keep silver on a leash. Not just because it's shiny, not because it's rare, but because it's dangerous. Not to you or me, but to them, to the bankers, to the institutions that crave control, centralization, and absolute oversight of every financial move that we make. And so why else would they go to such lengths, suppressing its price and flooding the market with paper contracts and spinning industrial narratives that make absolutely no sense? So the question is, what are they afraid of? And here's the thing that most people don't realize. Silver isn't just a commodity, it's the people's money. It always has been, and it always will be. And that scares establishment more than anything, because silver in your hand gives you privacy, freedom, and independence. That is something that they can't have more people come to the truth of. So silver in their system is just another controlled asset. And so that's why silver has become a thorn in their side. And that's the central banks and the global elite I'm referring to. So in this video here, I want to share my thoughts as to why it's never been more important to be paying attention to silver. And the three primary reasons are because 1, it's money. 2, if everyone understood their price suppression scheme, the game will be up. And 3, silver in your hand makes the government's ability to create CBDCs and force it upon us that much more complicated. So let's talk about this. All right, so I want to take a quick minute to share my thoughts on a variety of subject matter surrounding the silver subject. And so as of right now, we're witnessing gold do things that we have never seen before, and it's just a matter of time before silver does the same thing. But before we get to that point, I look at this current window of time where silver is hovering between that $30 to $35 range as being the best opportunity to continue to take advantage of this price suppression scheme that's underway right now. So in this video here, I want to share my thoughts just to further encourage everybody to take advantage of the manipulation while we still can, as well as the possible opportunities that lie ahead in doing such. And so as always, if you guys want to see more of these little quick takes, definitely hit that thumbs up button, drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this subject matter. Then if you find value, which I know you will, take this video, share it with your family and friends so they can get an understanding of how important silver is and why everybody should have a strategy as to how they can redeem their fiat currency and get real physical silver before stuff really hits the fan. But first, the idea of being money and how it'll help us all if we recalibrate our brains to look at it in that same way. And so before dollars became IOUs and before digital wallets began tracking every transaction we make, silver as money. And so it's real, tangible money, regardless of what the talking heads on the mainstream news might want to have us believe. They would say it's just a commodity. But no, it's a wealth preservation tool. Always has been and always will be. So in dozens of languages, the word of silver is synonymous with wealth or currency, and it's usually, and that word is argent in French, and plata, P-L-A-T-A in Spanish. So even in ancient Chinese, the symbol for what we would call a bank is based on silver. And why would that be? Because for thousands of years, silver was the standard, not the exception. And this just wasn't theoretical. Countries across the globe minted their own silver coinage, and they did so well into the 20th century. So from the United States, 90% silver quarters, to the sterling crown of Victorian England, to India's rupee, along with Brazil, mil real, and even coins from Liberia and Papua New Guinea. Silver circulated as everyday money that people actually had in their possession. And it's because people trusted it, because it held its value. It didn't rely on the promises of a central bank or the whims of politicians. It just was real. And this brings us to the uncomfortable truth that silver didn't stop being money because it failed. It was removed systematically and deliberately by the controlling forces of the monetary system. And the way they did it is becoming more obvious than ever, and that is the price suppression schemes that they put in place. And so if silver were allowed to trade freely, what would happen is the question. It would expose the entire fiat system as the hollow house of cards that it is. And that's why it's manipulated more aggressively than almost any other asset. So let's talk numbers. So the paper silver market through the COMEX and LBMA has been weaponized severely. So hedging of silver-backed ETFs is the perfect cover for naked short selling that's designed to cap any meaningful price moves. So when silver starts to rise, you'll notice a sudden flood of paper contracts that hit the market, which are the contracts that often dwarf the amount of actual physical silver available. And it started back in the 1980s when the Hunt brothers tried to break the system by simply buying physical silver. So it was enough to trigger a full-blown financial crisis, leading the Fed chair, Paul Volcker, to step in and literally change the rules to force a crash. So that tells you all you need to know. The mere act of owning physical silver threatens the entire monetary structure. So fast forward to today, and we're seeing signs that history could repeat itself. So you got billionaires, some flying under the radar, are stacking physical silver for some unknown reason. They're not buying ETLs or digital IOUs. They're getting the real thing, quietly, deliberately, and with a strategic purpose. And so taking that information there and just zooming out to the future, what exactly would they prefer to transition us to? And that's when we get into the whole idea of this digital revolution that we're experiencing, or the rebranding of our currency to the digital ledger technology, better known as central bank digital currencies. And so we're literally having a silver versus CBDC clash right now of errors. And so why now is the question. Why the urgency to suppress silver even more so? even as it's increasingly used in industry and in green tech. And it's simple. We're at the doorstep of a new financial regime. Central digital currencies is what governments will prefer, while keeping silver out of the hands of the people and only in their possession, for the sake of creating this whole digital revolution that we're experiencing, because they can't have computers, hardware, and everything else unless they have silver. And so CBDCs promise efficiency and convenience, but here's a trade-off. They also offer the state total surveillance. So imagine a world where every transaction is tracked, recorded, and taxed in real time, where your money can be frozen, limited, or even expire depending on your behavior. So that's the future they're building, and silver is its natural enemy. And so because silver can't be turned off, it doesn't need permission, it can't be digitally censored or debanked, it's freedom in your pocket. And I hate the very thought of people going backwards and realizing the importance of silver. So they know that a mass awakening to silver would undermine their plans, and that's why they try to label it just as an industrial metal, as if 5,000 years of monetary history can be erased with a press release. But clearly, with the increased volatility in the price of silver, their ability to slam the prices is no longer sticking the way that it used to. But you can feel the shift. At least I know I can. And so people are starting to get tired of cheap substitutes and digital promises of nothing. So they're dressing differently, thinking differently, and a new awakening towards understanding sound money is beginning to happen right now. And that's one that values substance, physical possession of real things that's outside the system's control. And silver just happens to fit right into that equation because it's authentic and it has intrinsic value because it's from the earth. And as history has shown, it works perfectly when governments get out of hand, create too much debt, and try to reboot the system and then hand out the next iteration of whatever it is they want people to have. So most people can go ahead and call it old-fashioned. They can call it even obsolete. But the truth is, silver's greatest days may still lie ahead of us. And when the digital cage closes in, this humble metal might just be the key to unlocking real financial freedom once again. So take a minute, share my 2 cents on a variety of subject matters surrounding silver. But the recent price activity we've seen with gold will eventually come to silver. And by that time, once the lid flies off the silver price and it goes beyond the $35 an ounce mark, game, set, and match, because it'll be hard for the bankers to keep that out of the people's viewpoint at that moment. For those who realize the times we're in and want to get involved and participate in this subject matter, that's when I encourage you to consider opportunities where you get involved directly in the silver business. And the best way to do such, in my opinion, is with the Quick Silver Wealth Acceleration Program, where you can actually set up automatic shipments of different weights of silver delivered to you directly. And so if you're interested in finding out more, visit mysilverteam.com. It'll take you right to the site where you can get all the information you need on how the program works and how you can get involved and actually earn fiat that you can then convert right into silver. And as you can see on the screen here, there's a lot of happy customers that are not knowledgeable about silver, but they realize what time it is, and they themselves are deciding to get physical silver 1 ounce at a time. And so because silver is the most affordable and crucial monetary medium for we the people, there's no reason why people of all ages shouldn't be stacking silver right now. And so once again, if you want to find out more or get involved directly by becoming a member, you also get access to your own bullion store where you can share your information with other people. And as they buy silver, you can be rewarded for your efforts in helping them get their weight up as well. So as always, just taking a minute to share my 2 cents on the subject matter and encourage you to continue to get your weight up, and more importantly, get involved directly in the silver game and help educate those around you, those people that need to hear this information directly from someone who knows. And as always, if you found value, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, take this, share it so more people can find out what's going on, and hopefully I'll see you as a part of the Silver Team. Catch you guys later.